Alright, so Shalom, giving all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rucha Kodash, Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yasha'Allah, Barakatah Yahweh. I'm going to give double honors to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, who teach and well, who are overseeing the construction of the tabernacle of David, more perfect tabernacle. Shalom to the Akim wa Akwaf, the members of the hopeful elect of the nation of Yasha'Allah, who have been quickened in these last days to stand upon their feet and to bear witness to the word of truth. So we're going to go into get a couple words real quick. This is the word bad, and the online Eptanod says bad, circa 300, inadequate, unsatisfactory, worthless, unfortunate, late 14th century, wicked, evil, vicious, counterfeit. Then we're going to do religion, because the title on this lesson will be Bad Religion. It says religion, circa 1200, it says state of life bound by monistic vows, also action or conduct indicating a belief in a divine power, a reverence for, and desire to please it, man. So bad, unsatisfactory action or conduct indicating a belief in divine power, a reverence for, and desire to please it, man. And the reason why I start off with that, those scriptures, well, not scriptures, but those two definitions of words in the online Eptamon, is because Jake has become so accustomed and so he's become so amalgamated into the religions and the philosophies of the world, man. Let's get Proverbs 3 and 31. Proverbs 3 and 31, it says, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Now let's see what we can get for ways. Just like it.
Strong's H 1870. Derech.
It says way, road, distance, journey, matter, road, way, path, journey, direction. It says what? Manner, habit, way. Of course, a life figuratively of moral character. And here it says, down here it says custom. So the scriptures have warned us not to what? Partake in the ways of the heathen, man. The scriptures and the law told us not to learn. Let's see, let's do Egypt. So we get off that. There's a scripture, I believe, in Leviticus. Here we go. Leviticus 18 and 1, it says, and Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am Yahweh your power. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do, man. This is the commandment from the Lord, man. And that's important because a lot of things that are going on in Babylon the Great, a lot of things that go on worldwide, they're just, they, in some way, form, shape, or another, man, they originated in Egypt or Kemet, or in that region known as Mesopotamia, man. All these things go back to Mesopotamia, the Levant, man, the Fertile Crescent, all those areas in the land of Ham, man, and not only the land of Ham, but also just, certain things, because all these nations, that's where wickedness was at I want to say maximum capacity, but it was a lot of wickedness going on in the land of Ham. A lot of things that that's why the scripture is important, because in Egypt, in the land of Ham, they were doing a lot of things you see going on today, man. That cross dressing, alternative lifestyle living, eating of abominable food, sacrificing unto idols, this, that, and the third, man, because they're heathens. But the scriptures admonish us and strictly warn us, this is after the doings of the land of Egypt, where you dwelt, shall you not do, man, anything, man. Worship there. And it goes back to, worshiping of idols, because these idols of the nations, they require certain things. You got to make certain type of sacrifices. They got a certain type of quote-unquote holidays, and I'm doing air quotes, certain manner of living that you're supposed to live, certain sexual things that you do, man. And it's all heathenism, it's paganism. It's against what Yahweh Shema Shai set up for the Israelite man, woman, and child. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whether I bring you in, shall you not do, neither shall you walk in their ordinances, man. And going deeper into that, in the land of Canaan, I believe it was the book of the Wisdom of Solomon. It tells us what they were doing in the land of Canaan that led to the land, the Lord moving us against the Canaanites, man, pushing them out of the land known as Israel. They're doing child sacrifices, eating abominable food, doing a whole bunch of wickedness, man. So continuing on, man, that's why the title of this lesson is Bad Religion, because what people don't understand is religion is man-made. It's not really, let's see what we can get. Religion is not given in the scriptures. Religion, it says the belief in and worship of a superhuman controlling power, especially what? A personal god or gods. A particular system of faith and worship, man. And like it says right here, it says especially a personal god or gods, man. And the scriptures only talk about Yahweh Shema Shai. The scriptures is the written record of the interaction between a people group, which is known as the children of Israel, and their God, which is Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, man. And all other nations have what? The same type of thing, man. They have a written record of their relationship between that certain people group and their power, man. We're not supposed to go into those things. Now, religion comes about when a person that's outside of that ethnic people group tries to take on the customs, knowledge, and practices of another people group that they're not ethnically tied into. For example, man, the whole ideal of being a Muslim or Islamic worship came about when other nations, such as for example, the Ottoman Turks, man. The Ottoman Turks were Edomites that converted into Islam, man. And you have what? The Nation of Islam here in America, which is so-called Jake African Americans converting into Islamic culture, man. But they're but being in that land, man, it's in the Middle East, man, that's not a religion to them, that's their culture. They grow up 10 generations being Muslim or being of that Islamic faith, man. That's that quote unquote belief system is tied to a landmass. It's tied to a people group, man. That's why for a majority of the time, the Islamic faith, it's what is tied to their calendar, man. Their whole belief system, it governs their time, their way of keeping time, as far as their days, man, because they have Ramadan and all these other holidays, quote unquote holidays that they have to keep, man. So their calendar centers around that. Their day-to-day life centers around that. Their prayer. They have the thing that they have their prayer calls throughout the day with the little horn or whatever. They have their pilgrimage, and their whole life is centered around their belief system between them and their God, man. So the same thing as the Moabites, same thing as the Elamites, man. They have Hinduism, man, which is not. Hinduism comes about when, like, for example, quote-unquote Edomite, not quote-unquote, but the Edomite tries to amalgamate himself into East Indian culture, man, and tries to take on the belief system of how they worship their gods, such as Shiva and this and the third, man. Those East Indians, they're that, man, by nature. They're born into it, man. They grow up practicing those things, man. But Jake doesn't understand that what, man. Let's go to Isaiah 46 or 43. This Isaiah 43 and 6 says start at 5. Fear not, for I am with thee. I will bring thy seed from the east and gather thee from the west. I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from far away, and my daughters from the end of the earth. Even every one that is called by my name, it says, for I have created him for my glory. I have formed him, yet I have made him. We are created to serve the Lord, man. The so-called African American, Native American, Latino, Hispanic, and brothers who are scattered across the four corners of the earth, man. We were created to serve Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, man. This is our heritage. This is our what? Our way of living. Because in the scriptures never establish a religion, man. The scriptures establish a
heritage.
It says property that is or may be inherited, an inheritance, a special or individual possession, a lot of portion, man. This truth is our heritage, man. The understanding, wisdom, knowledge of these scriptures is our heritage, man. The landmass of Israel is our heritage, given to us through the promise of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and his 12 sons, man. This is this is our legacy, man. These scriptures, man. Let's get the Deuteronomy 6 and 7, and I'll see what the other one says. It says Deuteronomy 6 and 7, and these words which I command thee this day shall be in thy heart, man, in their mind. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and thou shalt be as frontlets between thy eyes, man. But the point is what? That we're supposed to teach these things diligently to our children and pass them down. Our children are supposed to teach it to their children. Their children are supposed to teach it to their children. So that what, man, we can have that understanding of who we are as a people. And that's important. Because this knowledge is attached to our history, man. What we've been through. Where we're going to go as a people, man. Our customs, what we're supposed to eat, what we're supposed to wear. It's our knowledge of self, man. Our self-awareness. Our relationship between us and our power, and that's important. And what was the other one? 11 and 9. This is Deuteronomy 11 and 8. It says, therefore shall ye keep all these commandments, which I command you this day, that ye may be strong and go in the land, and go in and possess the land, whither ye go to possess it. And that way ye may prolong your days in the land, which Yahweh sware unto your fathers to give unto them and to their seed, a land that floweth with milk and honey. And that's important because this thing started with Abraham. Abraham, although the promises went to Abraham, he didn't enjoy the promise until he came back into his reincarnation, as well as Isaac, as well as Jacob, and as well as the 12 patriarchs, man. This thing came down through a seed line, and that's how it's always going to be, man. This truth and these promises, our covenant, our relationship with Yahweh Bashim Yahshua is going to always be passed down through our seed line, man. Because this is our heritage. It's a part of our legacy. That's why Jake has no business being a Muslim. Jake has no business being a quote-unquote Christianity. Jake has no business being a Hindu, a Buddhist, a Confucius, because those things don't teach you the history of yourself, man, where you come from. Your people don't teach you how you're supposed to dress. They don't teach you how you're supposed to act, and furthermore, they don't teach you what manner of persons you're supposed to be right now here in Babylon the Great in 2022, man. Only the scriptures can do that for Jake, man. Only the scriptures can quicken us, man. That's why when a lot of these other Jakes, they go off into these other quote unquote religions, man, they become even more bugged out than they started off with. And at the end of the day, they're just stumbling blocks. Let me just get what I want, because that's interesting. So it's Sirach 11 and Sirach 17 and starting at, I'm going to say 11. It says, besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage, man. He made an everlasting covenant with them and showed them his judgments. And that's important because it says what? And the law of life for an heritage, man. These instructions, man, these commandments, this is what we're supposed to formulate and structure our life by. This is what we're supposed to teach our children, man. The book of Proverbs say, raise up a child in the way that he should go, and in his latter days he shall not depart from it. And the scriptures have already laid the foundation that the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of Yahweh Shem Yahshai, these scriptures is what we're supposed to teach our children, man. And in latter days that will not depart from it, man, Lord willing. And that's important, man. It's important because it gives you a sense of pride, man. When you understand who you are, where you come from, what type of people you come from, the glory of it, the majesty, the legacy, it makes you proud, man. In a sense of nationalism, patriotism, true patriotism, which just means the love for one's country. And that's what these scriptures do, man. They give you a love for not only yourself and your people, but a love for your power, Yahweh Shem Yahshai, which is very necessary in these last days as we come towards our salvation. And that's pretty much all. I'm not going to make a heavy point, but the point stands, man. Jake, man, you got to come out all these other religions, man, the gods of these idols, because as the scriptures say, man, Yahweh Shem Yahshai is gonna basically be like, are you trusted in them idols all this time, man? Calling them to save you when the going gets tough. So this is Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh Shem Yahshai and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For Yahweh Shem Yahshai shall bring every work into judgment for every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. With that being said, hallelujah.